Hello everyone, welcome to Analog IAS Current Affair Analysis for 2nd May 2020, and these are the articles we'll be dealing today. The first article for the day is taken from the Hindu and it is titled It's about food, nutrition and livelihood security. In these times of lockdown, one of the most important factors for survival of the poor is access to food. Today we have taken granted the contributions of farmers to the Indian society. Thanks to Green Revolution, we have a scenario where access to food became a right rather than a charity. But the farmers today are facing issues at every stage of production. Namely, they are not able to gather money for their inputs, they are not able to mobilize labor for harvest, they are not in a position to pay back the debts that they took. Even the marketing arrangements, including the supply chain, is not fully functional. And the next thing that is bothering the people, especially in the farm sector, is that of price crash because of sudden slump in the demand. When we analyze the issue of this demand slump, it is mainly because we are not able to move these goods from one place to another in the right time. Since most of the agricultural crops are perishable goods except for the cereal crops of rice, wheat, other horticultural crops like vegetables and fruits have a very short life. And if we don't transport them in the right time, they might not fetch the right price for their produce. The second aspect is that of access to food, meaning unless and until we have the purchasing power to buy the food, the people cannot afford to buy that food. So that is why they are restricted in accessing this food material. And it is because of this fact, because of the lockdown restrictions, the government came up with additional allocations of food grains and food stocks. And it is not just restricted to rice and wheat, but even the food basket was widened, which included millets, pulses, oils, and therefore the steps taken for avoiding hidden hunger are also addressed. Because if you take the look at pulses, for most of the country, pulses are the main source of protein. So, by including pulses in this basket of essential goods, the government has improved access to quality food as well. But there are some other problems. For example, if you take the case of midday meals, many workers are not able to find food for their children because of the shutdown of midday meal schemes. So, this purchasing power parity is closely linked to your ability to earn. So, job security is the third crucial aspect that this article is talking about. Now, how do you ensure job security in this uncertain times? That is the next challenge that is in front of the government. The author suggests that we have to look towards complete utilization of all the resources of farm produce. For example, he quotes the example of Myanmar's rice park. So, at this particular place, there is a rich value addition because the straw, the bran, and the entire biomass is utilized for various activities. If we take a look at the Amul model for milk producers, just because of value addition, they were able to provide extra incomes to these milk producers. However, for any of this model to work, the prerequisite is technological investment. We have to invest our money in procuring new technologies and training the workforce to deal with this technology. Another way of enhancing our livelihood for our population is reimagining the role of Manrega. So, till now, Manrega was not used for skill related works that are related to farmers and also farming activities. Most of the work was criticized as pitch digging work. So, most of the skilled work was out of the ambit of Manrega. So, what could be done is we can include Manrega for agricultural works as well, and this will solve the problem of labor. The third dimension that the author is trying to focus is related to non-food dimensions. So, it is very important to understand the link between agriculture, nutrition, and our health. So, it goes something like this: what we produce on our fields should be nutritious, and what we eat, that is the nutritious food we eat, should be digested by our human body and that digestion will depend upon the internal health of the body. So what are the factors that will affect the health of our body? That is also equally important along with these other factors. So it is in this context we have to focus on our sanitation standards. Especially in the context of COVID-19, we see a severe problem of lack of access to water. The water access could have been the differentiating factor for spread of this disease in many rural areas and also in urban slums. Take the example of Dharavi slum. Today we are witnessing a lot of cases in Dharavi because they don't have proper living conditions. They cannot access clean water even for drinking. So the governments must focus on ensuring that sanitation standards, proper primary health care and access to water are available in the time period till we get a universal vaccine for this disease. So in this context, panchayats, where most of the country residents reside, becomes very important because they are the actual functionaries who will be dealing with the local population. So farmers making losses and agriculture moving from job-led to jobless will raise questions about the sustainability of our production cycle. Therefore, these are the primary requirements that we have to focus on right after the lockdown. That is the gist of this article. The second article for the day is taken from the Indian Express, and this is a criticism about how private hospitals are completely alienated from the battle that India is waging against COVID-19. After the 1991 LPG reforms, when we talk about the healthcare sector, nearly 75% of the healthcare sector is now in the hands of private sector. So nearly an amount worth 2.4 lakh crores is stuck in private hospitals. So to put it into context, 3 out of 4 beds are in private hospitals and not with the government hospitals. But citing various reasons like say the employee reluctance, pay cuts induced, and the fear of sealing, the fear that their brand value might come down in the future because it would be branded a COVID hospital and people might be afraid to come there, and also the lack of protection gear for its doctors and healthcare workers. All these reasons have combined together and created an atmosphere where private hospitals are shooing away patients, especially COVID-19 patients, and shying away from providing healthcare to these patients. So in Delhi and Bombay, the governments had to intervene and request or order the hospitals not to turn patients away. So the author of this article suggests that the private sector must come forward to take the burden of this COVID-19 disease, because if at all there is a question of their brand value coming down, it will only enhance their image because they are doing their public duty at the cost of their personal interest. Going forward, there is every possibility that most of the state governments will view at private sector with suspicion if they are not cooperating in these times. And secondly, the entire perception about private healthcare sector would change in the public. It is not that private healthcare is completely bad. So as a conclusion, what could be told is both private and public must exist together. But for the credibility of the private sector, this is the time to act because the nation needs them more than any other time. That is the gist of this article. Thanks for watching this video.